Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time, I want to take a look at some comic fanzines here. This is The Power Masters by Steve Lightle. But before we get into those, I'll remind you I've got my two books available, Bizarre Brain Comics Anthology and Bizarre Brain Comics Presents Heroes. Both of them for $7.99. This is the anthology is some humor with a little bit of adventure in there, and Heroes is just that, is a little more mainstream type with some superhero stuff, a little bit of horror, and even has a Western story in there. But and a lot of old-fashioned comic reading fun. So here we are with The Power Masters. This was a series produced by, and as you can see, it's zine-sized, and it's all comics, produced by a very young Steve Lightle. And maybe you're not familiar with Steve Lightle, like I was not. See, the Power Masters, this is covering, features Power Masters numbers 2 through 8, 76 to 78, by Steve Lightle, and this is a fanzine comic series. And Steve Lightle was born in 1959 to 2021. He's an American artist, primarily a penciler, best known for his work on the Doom Patrol and the Legion of Superheroes at DC. He did a lot of other stuff too. He started professionally on Black Diamond #4 in 1984 at EC Comics, and was in the New Talent Showcase at DC, and then he followed Keith Giffen on the Legion of Superheroes. And then he continued on the covers of Legion of Superheroes until '88. He was the original penciler on the Doom Patrol revival. Then the cover artist on the classic X-Men series for a time. But unfortunately, he fell victim to COVID-19 in 2021, and he was my age. Now, the thing is, these books are from, well, as I said, 76 to 78. So this is some mighty good stuff for a 16, 17, 18-year-old. Because it's a lot better than I could have done at that time, that's for sure. And but it also shows that I couldn't find anything about his particular background as far as educational background, and he may have had some much better artistic instruction than I ever could have, because I lived in BFE, where football, trucks, and farming was all that anybody cared about. In schools, there was almost nothing regarding art. Had one class, and that was basically kiddie art stuff. Until I moved to another school, had better art programs, so got better art instruction. For example, I never got any real instruction because I was primarily self-taught myself, and he may have been as well, and until what, 84, when I started in college after the Navy, and got some real art instruction. And even then, that's when I first learned about. I had some inkling because from stuff that I had read, but got some real instruction on linear perspective. for example. And he obviously has already knows about linear perspective, and as well as a good grounding in in human anatomy, et etc. So he did some really good. Even here, it's with one of the really neat thing is you can see his get a good view of his progression in just a couple of years. Because here is in the power, he had a good imagination. Here were a lot of characters that he created. He wound up he wrote virtually all this stuff. Sometimes there's a little bit here and there that other people wrote, and he did most of the art. Had some art assistance by usually primarily in inking, I think, from others, including as we see in one of these. In this one, I think, yeah, it's Steve Lightle. And this one has art assistance from Jerry Ordway. That would have been a young Jerry Ordway. You know, Jerry Ordway, he was big. Now, I was completely unfamiliar with Steve Lightle myself until this. Just because primarily I undoubtedly have seen some of his professional work before. I just was unaware of him. Primarily because the stuff that he primarily worked on was stuff that I did not follow. So now I got this just a few months ago. My friend Dean, hi Dean, has been rooting around in his collection, and he came across these that he had forgotten about. He sent messaged me a photograph of them. I said, "Oh, those are cool," and then he sent them to me. And so, thanks, Dean. And so I haven't read all of them. There are 7 issues here. I haven't finished reading them all, but I am enjoying reading them. And here early on, this is earlier stuff, is you can really see this is almost, well, had they been normal comic book size and better distribution. Now, because I don't know how, this was 30 cents. So start out with 30 cents a piece. So I don't know what kind of distribution he got. I think Dean had ordered them many years ago. It might have been back in the 70s when he ordered them. I don't know. And I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, anyway, I don't know what kind of distribution he got. He was probably selling them through some of the comic book publications, which I would never have seen at that time. And and so I doubt if he ever actually made any money or even broke even. But just having the capability of being at maybe 17 of being able to publish any of these. So he's got the conspiracy. This is the character, the Cat's Claw. And he's, like I said, several characters. Cat's Claw, won't go into it, but you can see some really nice artwork. This is almost, well, not really. I was going to say it could have been considered as a Power Comics at the Power, like the guys at Power Comics Club. But I don't think it would, because the art is too good for Power Comics. But it has some really nice stuff, and you can see here's another character, the Rodent. But this one, yeah. Anyway, and but you can still see some of the amateurish and ness in it before he, his stuff developed. But it's still very, very good at the time and at his age. This is number 3. This is Power Masters featuring Blood Soldier. Another character, and a lot of these characters, have different stories on them. The Cosmic Forever, and he's an android vampire from space. you know, this is the one that had Jerry Ordway contributing to it. And again, you can see some really nice work, and you could really see his stuff beginning to develop. And also probably see some of his influences, like probably undoubtedly Neil Adams and Rich Buckler, I think, among others. And here's number 4. This is featuring Blue Shark and Blood Soldier. And he had some. This was, I think, it was a collaboration with then a Blood Soldier story, and of course Blue Shark isn't quite a guy. The stories were very abbreviated, sometimes not as, you know, difficult for a complete story, but he works on it. Here you see some really nice stuff in here, and this is written and drawn by Steve Lightle and other stuff. And he had mail letters pages, so. So it was getting out there, and he was getting responses. This is a really nice cover. Again, the Cat's Claw. This is number 5. His followers. I haven't read this one yet, but stop again. But some nice stuff, really good potential, and you can, if you could see it really well, you can really see the progression. In his ability. That's really nice. Some really nice stuff. It's doing really well. The Cat's Claw. Then here is number 6, and it looks like somewhere along the line they forgot to put the Power Masters right in here. It says the. And number 6 with a gap where the Power Masters goes. Production error. But you see, he even had some color. Printed some in color. Not full color, of course. Instead of just to give it a sharper look. Just as you saw in this one, had a color cover. Right here. And this one is number 6. And this features, okay, Blue Shark Comics is the Power Master presents Blue Shark Comics. And co-starring the Crimson Baroness, another character. More comics, more written stuff. And then background stuff on some of the characters. Then we have number 7, the Power Masters. So you can see what I meant there. The Power Masters went in there, and somewhere along the line, apparently forgot to paste it up in there. The Power Masters number 7 presents Blue Shark Comics. Ooh. And again, the blue ink for the whole thing. Give it a little cover. You can use Zipatone. So he's learning more in production, and his whole work. This is a lot of work that he put out in a relatively short period of time, especially considering he was not professional, still going to high school undoubtedly, and had the capability to to finance this, because this, especially back then, it was not cheap to produce an issue, and he was doing this is, well, it doesn't have issue 1, but at least eight issues in just over 2 years. And here is the Power Masters number 8, a White Raven publication. Some change there, but you can really see how really nice that cover drawing is. Next issue, Through the Shadows, Chapter 2. This is the Power Masters, and it says Through the Shadows, Chapter 1. And here you can really begin to see, if you compare Where's that first one? I can't get it up. That first one. Compare the art of this one to this one. Same artist, but in just 2 years' time, you can really see a lot of progression in his art. It is just much, much better. You can really see the growth. Death Lord. So you can see why he eventually became professional. He had some really nice stuff there. So and it's some fun reading. So that's all I wanted to share with you this time with The Power Masters by Steve Lightle. Small press, all comic fanzine. Done by a teenage boy who eventually became an accomplished working professional. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. Do leave your comments down below. Have you been a Steve Lightle fan in the past? Catching his books and stuff? And if so, have you been aware of these comics he did in his teenage years? And what did you think of any of that? What do you think of this kind of fanzine in the first place? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.